As I speak, you'll notice phrases that invite your unconscious to do exactly what it already knows how to do. Pattern match, reframe, rehearse, and adopt new automatic responses. Words like notice, imagine, remember, choose. And now, they're little switches. Some lines will pace your current truth, the stuck defensive reflex, and then lead you to an alternative that's safer, truer, and more useful. Notice how your first reflex is suspicion. That's your brain protecting the small, vulnerable you. Good job for keeping you alive. Now imagine that's suspicion. It's a little guard dog. It barks at anyone who approaches the gate. That dog is loyal. It's earned its name, but some dogs can learn a new trick. When someone comes with a soft tone, it sits, sniffs, and wags. Practice the dog sitting. Your brain learns by rehearsal. The next time someone looks at you with interest, let the dog sit. You already take small risks sometimes. You text first to a friend. You laugh at a dumb joke. You ask for a coffee. Those are micro moves. List them mentally now. 3 tiny things you've done in the last month that require a breath. Your unconscious files these as evidence that you can act. The pattern is notice small, choose small, succeed small, repeat. Noticing becomes identity. At a higher level, these small risks, they're data, proving you're someone who approaches life. That identity, a person who experiments, is more reliable than your inner critic. When you chunk up, you can see the whole map. Others' glances, they're not verdicts, they're signals. Signals can be decoded, not feared. Choose decoding over judgment. When you think, they must be messing with me, replace silently with, they're human. They're risking a glance, and I can accept or decline. When you think they must be broken to like me, replace it with, they saw something worth noticing in me. Curiosity is a compliment. When you think I'm unworthy, reassign that thought as a weather report, a passing cloud, not the climate. Imagine your self-worth as a radio station. Right now, the dial is stuck between static and shame. There are many stations. Curiosity, warmth, humour, presence. Your job is to move the dial by half a notch, not by ripping the radio apart. Each time someone looks at you, that's a soft tapping on the radio. Tune one click toward curiosity. Each click becomes easier. Do it now in your head. Hear the noise ease. The brain loves small, repeatable motor patterns. That's how new reflexes form. Think of a person you admire, not perfect, just steady. What do they do when someone looks at them? Maybe they smile briefly. Keep eye contact for one beat. Then shift to curiosity. You already do that in other domains. At work, when you answer a question. When you notice someone's dog. Copy the micro behaviours, one posture, soft eyes, a half smile, one small question. Your unconscious will model that faster than conscious lecturing. If you keep letting suspicion and shame run the show, life shrinks. The probability of misconnections rise. You pass up play, romance and fun. Months fall into years of what if. That's the downside scenario. If you adopt micro moves and small reframes, the upside compounds. Small wins grow your social muscle. Widen options and attract people compatible with your honesty. That's the upside, Both are plausible futures. Choose the one you want and your nervous system will find ways to move toward it. When your brain jumps to, "They're tricking me," interrupt with a tiny physical act. Press thumb and index finger together for 3 seconds and then release. Do it now in imagination. That micro gesture, it creates a neural marker that separates old loops from new choice. Practice it in real life as a covert anchor. Notice what you deeply value: connection, honesty, play, safety. Name the top 2 quietly. Those values are your compass. When someone looks at you and your reflex is suspicion, ask silently, "Does this moment serve my value of connection?" If no, choose to step away. If yes, move forward. Choosing by value feels cleaner than choosing by fear. Repeat inwardly after me, with the tone of someone trying on a strong jacket. I notice, I choose, I act. Say it 3 times. Each time, feel the weight of the jacket settle. The unconscious hears repetition, feeling, and files it as a default. Your brain is a prediction engine. It uses past outcomes to forecast future threat. Suspicion, it's learned prior from early data. Repetition of new micro-behaviors creates new priors via synaptic plasticity. This is Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together wire together. Small wins produce dopamine spikes that reward approach behavior. Cognitive reprisal reduces amygdala reactivity and it increases prefrontal control. In plain terms, practice rewires fear into choice. So why do you get stuck? Early conditioning, care, attention, or inconsistent rewards. They created a high sensitivity to social threat. The comparison loop, social media and spotlight comparisons, amplifying perceived deficits. Avoidance reinforcement. Every time you withdrew, short-term relief is rewarded, which cements avoidance. That's normal. Now you're going to short-circuit that by learning approach micro-habits. The top patterns that keep people down and how to interrupt them. The comparison spiral. Interrupted. Do 1 appreciative inventory of 3 personal wins. Mind reading. Assuming others' thoughts. Interrupt. Ask 1 small question or test the assumption quietly. Catastrophizing. Interrupt. Scale the fear from 10 to 3 with facts. What's the real worst case? The perfection trap. Interrupt. Publish 1 imperfect thing or make 1 imperfect social move. Avoidance ritual. Interrupt. Micro-commit. 1 text, 1 smile, 1 approach. Day 1. Make eye contact and smile at 1 person and look away in 2 seconds. Day 2. Ask a neutral question to a stranger. Day 3. Invite 1 person for a coffee. Low stakes. Repeat and log the outcome. Tiny wins stack. Take a shame thought. Rephrase it into a weather report, a radio station, and a dog. Say all 3 out loud. The variety helps the unconscious choose the metaphor that sticks. Imagine 3 months out. You've made small moves, attracted better people, felt safer. Then imagine the opposite, years wasted. Feel the emotional difference and let it help you choose actions now. When someone gives you a glance, "Hey, Wait one beat. You okay? Curiosity beats defensiveness. When attraction is felt, and old shame rises, I'm glad you noticed. Short, honest, chills self-attack. If you think you're too damaged, ask one boundary question early. What are you wanting now? Sets the tone and reduces risk. Anchor a resource state. Remember a time you felt confident, even tiny. Amplify it in memory, smell, sound, touch. When it's vivid, press your thumb and index together. Create an anchor. Repeat this 3 times. Now the physical anchor will evoke that resource in the wild. Picture yourself recoiling, big, dramatic. Then immediately switch to a picture of you smiling and asking a question. Repeat fast. The brain replaces the reflex image with a new one. If you continue as before, the habit loop reinforces avoidance, fewer social chances. Internal narrative hardens, growing apathy and sadness. Relationships that could have been joyful become what-if ghosts. Lower life satisfaction, missed opportunities for intimacy, stunted confidence. If you adopt micro-practice and anchors within weeks, you'll feel lighter. Your social bandwidth increases. You'll attract more compatible people. Confidence becomes iterative. Small wins lead to larger risks. Boundaries become easier to set. Over years, you'll be someone who moves toward life, rather than waiting like an optional extra. Worst case honest note. Changing neural priors is effortful. You stumble. That's expected. The trick is to schedule small, repeatable practices so the cost of tripping is small and repair is easy. Confusion destabilizes all models. The brain becomes plastic when it can't predict. Ericksonian patterns use gentle confusion and metaphor to momentarily unhook default responses so new patterns can be installed. That's why metaphors, they aren't decorative, they're mechanical. They create a milder, safer dissonance that your system will resolve into new behavior. Now, quietly, in your inner voice, say these lines as if you're testing a new jacket. I notice. Feel the breath. I choose. Feel the small click of the thumb and index. I act. Feel the shoulders relax an inch. Repeat 3 times. Each repetition drops a peg in your neural map. Each peg makes possible the next move, the next question, the next laugh. You're not broken goods left on a shelf. You're a person learning a skill. Skills take practice, not perfection. One last way to imagine it. You're a gardener. Years of neglect left weeds of suspicion. You don't rip the garden out. You plant brave seeds in spaces between the weeds. Water them. Pull one small weed a day. In months you have flowers. People notice flowers.